Every day in the United States alone, thousands of acres of agricultural land are lost to industrial development and urban growth, while critical wild spaces and diverse agricultural communities are replaced by the new face of oil.
This farmland down here in the Beaver Drainage District is high quality farmland. It has a rich history of growing an entire spectrum of crops, anywhere from food to hay production, beef cattle, and there's not very much farmland like this left anywhere. This is a unique resource that needs to be preserved.
Hakilnith sensna, Statithum Niskliamson. Hakilnith is who I am. I'm also known as Scott McGregor. I am descended from ancestors who have lived in a very similar ecosystem for thousands and thousands of years. Thousands of generations, actually. A lot that used to be here that isn't anymore. Ask the salmon. It's just a gorgeous place. And it's our home.
We call it heaven. It's just so beautiful and quiet.
I grew up here. I'm 72 years old. I watched the beautiful area and the heavy fisheries here slowly deteriorate through the logging and industrial pollution on the river. There are Native American sites all around us.
I have incredibly fond memories growing up here in Clatskanie and experiencing these wild places with my dad.
It's just so peaceful, the stars, everything you want in a country setting. Otherwise, I've got people worldwide that are stopping here and checking out our little piece of the pie.
This is where we settled on because of the pristine nature of it, because of the agriculture, because of the farmland, because of the seclusion, because of the serenity and the peace of what it is that we're here. We grow most of our own food here.
Being a custodian of these lands out here is an important part of any person's endeavor in life.
It is surrounded by the Columbia River. It is full of wetlands. It's part of the Native American and federal salmon recovery area and shares the habitat there with great blue heron, bald eagles, golden eagles. We have egrets.
There's endangered lower Columbia white-tailed deer, red-legged frogs, which are a threatened species. We have both types of western pond turtle and regular pond turtle. So any chemicals in the air are going to end up landing in those wetlands. And what's it going to do to especially amphibians, because they're so sensitive.
I get to see the eagles, the hawks, the great horned owls, and hear them hoot at night.
If you took a tour, you would see all the farmlands that are still in production.
It will impact pristine nature of my farm.
Yeah, this is all exclusive PA 80 zone agricultural ground. The state of Oregon back in the 70s put in place was to protect family farms, protect agricultural ground.
I have a very strong interest in keeping our food regional, local. It's really important that we understand where our food comes from, who's growing it. Something about taking away the agricultural land is against the principles of our community. Food insecurity does not need to happen.
I don't think it's a good idea. I think it's a waste of good farmland.
This is all class 2 soils, all 50% organic matter. We can do things here that nobody else can do in the state, and even in the U.S.
Once farmland goes away, it never comes back.
Again, you cannot rebuild farmland.
Once this is paved over, once it is taken away, it will never come back. It is very important that we understand that.
You can't make these soils. These soils aren't manufacturable. They take hundreds of thousands of years to make, and they're prime agricultural soils.
I have watched our friends down in Southern Oregon lose their farms because of drought, because of fire.
This is some of the best farmland in the world. So you have class 1, 2, and 3 soils with irrigation, which any Californian farmer will tell you is gold. The farmers that are here are doing a great job. They understand the value of the land. They work it every day.
This is a very sensitive ecosystem, just like all ecosystems are. They require balance.
Keep in mind that this is also adjacent to a number of areas where we have had boil points and active artesian wells in recent history.
I've run the fields for fun. I've milked my dairy cows in the spring out there in the pasture. I know the ground. And one thing I know for sure is that it's wetland.
We live 18 feet below the river and behind dikes, and having a spill here would be disastrous for all of us, and that really would.
37% chance of a 7.1 earthquake in my lifetime occurring right here. If that site was built, if you had a mega fuel refinery built on wetlands with fill on the soils of the Beaver Drainage District, it would essentially kill the Columbia River.
Nobody knows what the impacts are going to be. Nobody can tell us what steps need to be taken to ensure the safety of all the farms down here.
It's going to open the floodgates for Columbia County to industrialize the Beaver Drainage District.
I believe Columbia County has a future of sustainability ahead of it rather than industrial development.
And there's industrialized ports all over this country, up and down the Mississippi. I've worked at half of them. This is the reason why we're here, is because this is not one of those.
We don't have time, climate-wise, to continue pursuing even transitional ideas.
I live here first. My job is secondary. I'll survive. But if something is gone, it's like giving up your heart. It's gone forever.
Leave things better than you found them.
This is our home, and our lives depend on it.
I have a question. Why can't Port Westward, instead of being known as the home of the world's largest or second largest diesel refinery, be known as Port Westward, where sustainable opportunities are encouraged?
Dear County Commissioners, it is my humble and honest opinion that any of you who vote to approve permitting for this project do not represent me, and probably not a huge majority of Columbia County residents who live near and love this magnificent Columbia River.